Michael Todd versus Ongarbayev.
My God, mate. So, Ongarbayev is very, very good at what he does. But I do believe he has to finish the match early. Because Michael's X Factor, Michael's Kings, and how awkward it is going to put a level of fatigue on your arm that is very unusual. And it's hard to emulate. You don't really face people like that a lot. My question is, or my concern is, and I spoke to Mike the other day, and Mike's always upbeat and positive. And my question to him was, how's your arm? And he said, yeah, really good. I've been pulling, I pulled on it a little. I pulled with Corey and it seems to have held up okay. I'm going to pull another event coming up. I think this weekend he's pulling a couple of classes. So he's obviously got confidence in it. Now, that is not going to give him the same level of test, the same level of stress that he's going to get on that arm, on that damaged bicep when he pulls Ongarbayev. Because Kydyrgali is exceptionally strong. Kydyrgali's got to get around the arm. He's got to hit. He's got to take command of the hand and wrist, and then he's got to come around and he's got to jump on it and press. And I don't know whether he can do that with a great deal of confidence. It's not really his skill set. Anything hanging out and going backwards, I see that he may take a pin early. He may take 2 pins. I do think Michael, if he can put the brakes on, puts an extreme level of fatigue on his arm. And Michael's been used to pulling bigger men, so he's used to the feeling of pulling an awkward, because Kydyrgali's a big guy. He's a long-levered guy. So he's used to pulling that longer-levered athlete. And I think if he can get a strap early, doesn't get flashed, gets a strap, and can put the brakes on, Michael can take the match. Kydyrgali, I believe, is dangerous off the starts. I think it's critical for Mike. Mike, I don't believe, beats Kydyrgali to the hit. I think he hits fast enough to get the slip and the strap. I don't think Kydyrgali's going to hit bang straight to the pad. I think he's going to hit for position. I think he's going to hit for commanding position in the hand and wrist from which he feels like he can't be beat. And if he can get that and continue to crawl up the hand and wrist of Michael to take away and flatten the palm off, turn Mike's palm up to prevent that pronator and disable it, then Kydyrgali can win the match. It'll be interesting for me to see whether Kydyrgali has experience of pulling that style. I don't think I've ever seen Kydyrgali against a Kings movie before. I don't think so. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think I've ever seen him pull a high-level Kings.
We should say open arm top roll, right? Because here you can only go this far, not here, but here only. Mm-hmm. This is the furthest you are gonna go. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we should just say maybe more like open arm top roll. Yeah, but I was thinking that Kydyrgali, until I saw him against Alex Kurdecha, I thought that he couldn't pull in bad position because he is those type of hunter guy, the positions. But when Alex took his even wrist and everything, he was still able to fight with joints. So I don't think that it's gonna be easy match.
No, I think it's going to be potentially the longest match of the night, Engin.
A few days ago, they were my guest, and I asked Kydyrgali, I said, "Are you as good as your top 8 shape?" And he said, "I'm stronger now." And the guy doesn't bullshit. The guy doesn't bullshit. Even when we asked him, "Can you beat him?" He said, "Oh, table will show." And this, he doesn't talk like all that 1.5 hour, 1 hour, 20 minutes podcast. Probably total of the words, not the sentence, he said probably was 20.
Jesus.
So he doesn't talk. But I asked him, "Are you as good as top 8 when you pull against Levan?" He said, "No, I'm stronger right now." So the guy is good, and Michael is trained for super heavyweights. He has the muscle memory of handling all that heavyweight pressures.
Yes.
So now these two are meeting. Very interesting match for me.
Very could be the longest match of the night, in my opinion. I think Kydyrgali is very dangerous in the opening couple of rounds. Really dangerous. I think Mike will find a way to get the brakes on. And when he does get the brakes on, that's the test. Because I think if it comes down to an arm wrestling ugly competition, Mike's winning that. So if Mike can get the brakes on and he can draw the match into a long affair, I think the pendulum of opportunity swings heavily in his favor. I think Kydyrgali is very dangerous out of the blocks. I give this one, in terms of the X factor thing, is that injury. That's the one, because Mike isn't going to experience the same type of pressure in the same angles that he's going to get from Kydyrgali against a bigger, even a more powerful opponent like Corey. I don't think that same stress on.
Michael is probably gonna feel much smarter. I'm talking about compared to his super heavyweight experiences. Not much smarter, but smarter strength application, but not as much horsepower as
Correct.
he was feeling before.
That's exactly as I see it. And different, I think different directions, different application of that power. And if Michael's bicep is fully fit, I think I give Michael the edge. I think he's favourite. He'll get a test of that this weekend to see where it's at. If Michael's fully fit and firing on all cylinders, I think that he has the edge in terms of favouritism. I do not see this as an easy match. I think Michael, as usual, is pulling a killer.
Why is that Michael doesn't receive the same respect? I'm not talking about everyone. A lot of people likes him and supports him, but a lot of he has, like, I cannot say hater, but a lot of people dislikes, and they are looking opportunity to say bad things, negative things, I should say, about him. While all of his opponents are, I would say, showing respect, and they are never sure of themselves. And I'm not talking everyone, but people, like, if you ask to their opponents, they are like, oh, I don't know what to do. Michael is very dangerous. You can see that whoever you said, everyone is very careful, because the guy is dangerous. But you don't see the same, like, we're talking about, like, guys, like very elite guys talking that highly about him. And while a good portion in the community that is talking, Michael, he's like nothing and this and that. Why do you think that part I'm trying to understand? It's because of his unorthodox style? Okay.
I think a combination of that. There's an orthodox style, and Michael also is one of those guys that wears his heart on his sleeve. So he's a very you see raw emotion from him, and sometimes that raw emotion can be seen a certain way, and it doesn't do Mike any favors. And then the whole Mike being, the guy that when all that he was under the table, you know what I mean? The whole King's move, Antichrist movement that went out there, and Mike was the champion of the King's move at that time. He was the guy. He was the
honestly, this is also I hate, but not Michael. But this for me is okay. Just to clear. Anyway, so